Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Just a Fan. It's your host, Ben. And we're going to be doing an AFC Championship preview today. Just going over both sides, what's going to work, what's not going to work, and really the main reasons why each team could potentially win this game. And before we get into that, I just want to give my prediction and just talk about a few other things very, very quick. Just to be honest, I have the Patriots winning. I have the Pats winning 27-20. And a couple things that were interesting to me is the spread is at -4.5. That seems about right. There was a time earlier in the week where it was at -5.5, but I guess that is getting bet down. Regardless, I think a majority of the country knows that the Patriots should be favorites going into this matchup. They're the only team with their starting quarterback. Obviously, that's going to make a massive difference. And then another thing that I thought was a little bit more interesting than the spread was the over-under. It's at 42.5. As I said, I have the Patriots winning 27-20. So I have that going over, and really I see that just because I either see New England scoring a decent amount of points if this game gets away from Denver, or I have Denver scoring more points than I think most people are anticipating. I mean, again, if the line is at 42.5, I really can't see Denver scoring. I guess the books probably have them at, maybe 15, 16 points. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I think Denver could at least score, again, 20. That's what I have them at. So we'll see how that all looks, but let's get into the previews now. First, let's start with the Patriots. The Patriots, their main thing that they need to do to get this whole thing to be successful on Sunday is for Drake Maye to limit the turnovers. And when I say turnovers, specifically limit the fumbles. Limit the fumbles. And the reason I'm a little bit concerned about that is we saw what happened last week. I mean, Drake Maye fumbled 4 times. He fumbled 4 times. He leads the league in fumbles. 2 of them were recovered by the Houston defense. And again, if you've been paying attention to football this year, you know that Denver has that level of pass rush this year. I mean, arguably, they have one of the better, if not the best overall pass rush in the league. Again, you're not going to be facing some of the edge rushers other than Nick Bonito that are as good as Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter, but still, this is a great unit. They're going to need to really, again, just kind of be on top of that. And again, I think Drake Maye needs to, number one, just be overall more aware with, again, how long you're holding the football. Number two, if the fumble does come out, obviously get it. But overall, just try to limit the amount of turnovers. Realistically, I could see Drake Maye having 1 or 2 just because, again, it's his first year in the playoffs. It's the AFC Championship. It doesn't really get bigger than this other than the Super Bowl. So maybe the nerves will be there a little bit. Maybe the altitude will impact him. I'm not sure. But, again, at the end of the day, for New England to win this game, he's got to limit the turnovers because if you give Denver opportunities, this game is going to be a lot more difficult than it needs to be. The second key to success for New England is having an offensive line that can actually pass block at a decent rate. Again, you're going against a very tough challenge in this Denver, front seven, specifically that D-line. I just talked about it. But some of the stuff I saw the last couple of weeks has been concerning, specifically Campbell. Yes, again, I know he was going against, the premier edge rushers last week, but it just felt like every other snap, this guy was getting turned around and he was allowing guys in the backfield to get to Drake Maye. He's got to play his game. I don't know if they need to, send a running back on that side or maybe double a guy here and there. I don't know what New England's going to do, but the offensive line, specifically in the pass game, needs to do their job. If you protect Drake Maye and really don't even allow him to get hit, let alone have a chance for a fumble recovery, I think you're in a great spot if you're New England. So that's really got to be one of the keys to success because Drake Maye isn't going to throw necessarily a ton of picks, at least, unless he has a Josh Allen or C.J. Stroud type of game. But it's really been his fumbles that have been his kryptonite. So again, if the offensive line can do their job, I think New England has a really, really good shot of going to the Super Bowl. The last key to success on offense is continue to do what you're doing with the 2 running backs. I think that this adds such another dimension to New England's offense by having both Ramondre and Henderson. Now, personally, I do think Henderson is the better back, and I think he will eventually kind of fizzle, Stevenson out. But right now, we're in 2026. We're still focusing on the 2025 season. That's not a reality to consider. I think right now, they have a very good duo, and especially Ramondre in the receiving game. He's really been a threat this year. He's been a threat in the past, but I feel like he's had some huge plays. So I would just like to see, again, those 2 mixed in there. whether it's more Ramondre at the goal line because he's a bigger back, or maybe getting Henderson involved in more of those screen passes. Because, again, when he puts on the burners, he puts on the freaking burners, and he can go all the way. So I really think that is, again, another key for New England to keep this thing going. And it also keeps the Denver defense a little bit more honest, especially, again, if you can get that screen game going, that's going to neutralize the pass rush. It's really going to keep the rest of the defense off, what they're trying to do. And again, it's just going to make Denver's defense have to be a little bit more, I guess almost a little bit more aggressive in a way, which is what they don't want because, not to spoil the rest of the video, but obviously anyone with a brain knows this. The Denver defense is going to need to carry on Sunday, most likely. So if you can get them out of their rhythm, maybe have them make a few mistakes here and there by having to, worry so much about these running backs, someone else might be able to make a play. So again, just get these two guys involved. I don't want it to be a lot of either one. Just get them both involved. It's going to keep them both fresh, and it's going to give the defense different looks. I just think this overall helps New England. Last is for that defense. The New England defense needs to know that if you do your job, you're most likely going to win even with a bad offensive performance, which, let's be honest, the New England offense has not looked fantastic in these last couple playoff games. And they're going again against one of the better defenses in the NFL. So I think the New England defense is going to need to step up. And again, don't do too much. Yes, obviously do your job, but don't do too much. You have to prove, or the New England defense should have the mentality that Jarrett Stidham and the Denver Broncos need to prove that we should even respect their passing game. If I'm New England, you go all in on the run game. Yes, Sean Payton might take a couple shots here and there, but I want you, Jarrett Stidham, to prove that you can actually beat this New England defense and consistently, get the ball out, make accurate throws, make good decisions. And I think that's, again, a huge, huge, huge key to success for New England. Because, again, if you make this guy throw, I have a feeling that he's probably at least throwing one interception minimum. So we'll see how this goes. But I think, again, if New England can just try to hit even a majority of these, keys to success, I think they will be going to the Super Bowl. Now on to the Denver Broncos. Let's start with the defense because these are the guys that we're going to be watching the most. The defense needs to step up. And, again, I don't have to say it a billion times, but you're without your starting quarterback at this point. You have to make plays. You have to give, that offense good field position. You need to just do anything, create turnovers, consistently get in the backfield, whether it's wrapping up the run or, again, hitting Drake Maye, trying to get the ball out. He's going to fumble at some point. It's just when. So keep going. Keep working that offensive line that can get worked and has been worked in the playoffs. And try to do your best locking up those receivers. Surprisingly, again, New England's receivers have made plays all year, but they're not necessarily the best names. I would assume they're probably going to have Surtain on Booty for the majority of the game, maybe a little bit on Steph Diggs here and there. But, again, I just think Denver's defense needs to go balls to the walls. Obviously, again, play smart. Don't get any serious penalties. Don't extend the drive for New England. Let's relax with any holding penalties, roughing the passer. Just play your brand of football because I do really like how Denver matches up against that New England offense. But again, I just wonder how much pressure are they going to be feeling in this situation? And is one guy out of those 11 going to get a little too aggressive and maybe screw them over on a few plays? So that's what I'm looking for. But really, 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 if Denver wants to go to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to rely on this defense. Now let's focus on the offense. This is more for Stidham and mostly Sean Payton, I would say. Let's start with Stidham. Again, man, you're the backup. I know this is a really tough situation. You just got to try to do your job. Again, do not turn the football over. Don't make dumb throws. Don't be too aggressive, but also know when to take a shot. Just play your brand of football. Play smart football. And then really just try to, get the offense in the flow. And that's really what you got to hope to do. I think run game-wise, you really got to try to lean on the run game. I think Dobbins might be back for this game. Do not hold me to that. Excuse me. I haven't fully checked, but I saw something that he might be able to play. So that will, of course, be a great addition. But really, yeah, just try to get the run game going. And for Sean Payton, just try to, I don't know. This is gonna be one of his tougher ones. Just try to get this offense, in a rhythm. Again, Sean Payton has a very specific offense, the way he likes to run it. He's had backup quarterbacks run it and has had success. But I just want to see again. How is he going to get Stidham, I guess, comfortable? How is he going to get the other guys involved in the game? Again, are they going to be, creating big plays within the run game? Are they going to take a couple shots here and there? These are the things that I'm going to be looking for. And then on a coaching standpoint, I think Sean Payton, and again, he likes to get aggressive. Don't get too aggressive, especially in a game like this. If you can take the points and you're not down by 14, I think you have to take field goals in these situations. Again, yes, be aggressive when it matters, but how many times did we see specifically in that Rams-Bears game where the Bears could have taken points early last week and maybe it would have been a different game? I just think, again, if you're given points and you're not getting blown out, you just got to take them because it at least gives you the feeling that you're in the game. And all you need, as long as you're down by maybe 1 to 3 to 4 points, all you need is maybe just 1 or 2 turnovers max, and you can flip that game. So that's the way I'm looking at this. If I'm Sean Payton, again, it's going to be a really, really tough challenge. But if anyone's going to get their offense schemed up for a backup quarterback on 1 week to go to the Super Bowl, it would be Sean Payton. That's all I had in this one. Just wanted to get a preview out there for the AFC Championship. I'm still excited for this game. I think, again, that this is going to be a closer game than most people think. I still have the Patriots winning, of course. Let's not kid ourselves. But I do think this is going to be a closer game than most people anticipate. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you're interested in any other NFL content, feel free to subscribe. Drop any thoughts down below on the game. I will be responding to comments in my comment section. My TikTok is in the description down below. And if you made this far in the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Peace, guys.